Howdy folks, welcome back. So today's video, we're doing a little follow-up on the $400 barn find Sportster. And in my last video about this bike, it got a ton of views and comments, and everybody was like, oh my god, you got a $400 Sportster and you're gonna part it out? And I tried to explain in the last video, and some people got a little bit lost on this, so I'm gonna put it in real simple terms. In California, if you have a vehicle and you don't register it, and you don't tell the DMV that you're not using it, it acquires fees. And those fees stay with the vehicle, not the individual. So the previous owner of this bike decided to not renew the registration back in 2017 or whatever. So for every year, he acquired a fee for that year, and then every month there's also a fee. So this vehicle has over $1,000 in back DMV fees on it. That is a bummer because, let's be real, it's a $3,000 bike when it's on the road, right? And it's been sitting for years and years. So I did get it running, but to make this bike roadworthy, you're talking tires, brakes, all the fluids, fork seals, possibly fork tubes. I didn't look at them that close. And it has a ton of corrosion, so there's not a lot of money to be made fixing this thing, making it perfect, and selling it. As in, if I did it, I would basically be doing all the labor for free. And that's not a plan. Coincidentally though, I am building a Sportster S chopper, and I could use some parts off of this bike for my project, and we're gonna make money on this thing. I'm gonna show you guys how you can take a junk Sportster like this that you find cheap and part it out. Obviously, the bike that you buy has a little bit to do with how much money you can make, and I've done this before, so I'm gonna let you guys in on a little game. When you're looking for a bike to do this, and mainly you're not gonna be looking, the bikes are gonna find you type of thing. It's just gonna be a thing that you see pop up for super cheap, and you got to have the money in your pocket and be able to go get it that day, because that's how good deals happen. But realistically, I always look for bikes with mag wheels. Whether they're 9 or 13 spoke, mag wheels are one of the most desired and sought after parts on these bikes because they fit Dynas and FXRs as well. So that is a huge thing. This thing has 13 spoke mags, the best ones that you could get. Also, dual disc front suspension. They just bring more money because guys are converting their bikes to dual disc. And then when you get into engine parts, it does have the dual plug heads. Those do bring more money, that kind of thing. As far as what I want to do with this bike right now is I want to get it torn down to at least the engine and the frame. Another part that's going to do really well on this bike is it has a thunder header. Thunder headers are like the #1 go-to exhaust in California. Thunders, Bazzanis, basically any 2-into-1 is kind of the hot boy setup out here. So this will be a nice valuable part for us. I just posted a little story on my Instagram, and I've already sold the tin set and the rear shocks. So those are already sold, but we are going to tear into this thing, and we're going to find more good sellable parts. And I'm going to turn you guys out of the game and show you how to make some money on a junk Sportster. Now obviously this isn't something that I do all the time. It's just when I stub my toe on a bike like this. This thing popped up on one of the neighborhood pages, and it was literally, I don't know, 15 minutes away type of thing. So I hit the guy up, was like, hey, I got cash in my pocket, a ramp in my truck, threw the kids in there, and we went and scooped it up. He was just over it. He wanted it out of his garage or out of his carport. It's been sitting there for 10 years. But like I said, that's the way good deals happen. You got to jump on them quick. So yeah, let's get all these bikes pulled out of here and get tearing into this thing. It's a beautiful Saturday morning. And of course, we got the 2 assistants out here. What are you guys doing? Just getting after it so early in the morning. But yeah, it's been real hot here lately. So we're starting early. It's beautiful out. Just a Santa Cruz mountain day. And before we get too deep into the shenanigans, a little time for coffee. But I want to show you guys here, condition up close. You can see we got corrosions on stuff. And that is normal for a bike that's been sitting. But I also know a couple tricks to getting most of the rust off the chrome. And when it comes down to the aluminums, we have the magic vapor blasting machine. So on some of the aluminums we could do that, but like, yeah, the engine, she's seen some better days for sure. Still good parts though. Still good parts, just not so pretty. Coffee number 2. We're really cooking now, boys. So yeah, started to get her stripped down, get the big stuff off of it. Now we're going to, I want to get the exhaust off and start getting it stripped down. I think I'm going to leave the engine in just to make it easy to move around. But we'll get these wheels off. All right, I want to show you guys a little trick I've been using for years as far as these kickstand springs. Just take some coins, jam them in there, and when you close the kickstand, you'll have enough tension you can pull the spring off. Works pretty awesome. When it comes to getting these rotors off, you definitely gotta give these guys some heat. But I think I'm gonna walk out because these are aftermarket rotors, and I bet they didn't even put Loctite on the bolts because everything else has been pretty loose. I don't mind. I don't mind. Alrighty guys, so thanks to the old Instagram, we are sending this Thunder header all the way to Fort Wayne, Indiana. And just getting the wheels all packaged up for a little shipping action. Sold these on the Fleabay. But check this out, just finished up the front end. So I polished out the tops, I polished out the little bushings, and then fresh powder coat on the triple trees, cleaned up the fork tubes, fresh powder coat on the lowers, got the brakes all cleaned up. So I'm going to list this as a unit and we will see what this sells for. And for a little behind the scenes for the eBay operation, we got a fancy dancy LED light, just a sheet that's super dirty. I need to just buy a new one. I've washed it too many times. But we're going to give the front end a clean up. And this is my favorite polish right here. I'll put a little link where you can get some. And then, of course, you got to have the Costco microfibers. But yeah, we'll just give it a wipe down and then do a little photo shoot. Can't forget the master cylinder, which I did yesterday. So we're going to redo it and take some measurements, get it listed, and let's get this thing sold. I love this thing. I'm super, super happy with it. Wouldn't it look good on the FXDX? Oh my goodness, I can't. Got to do stuff for money. You know how it goes. Every once in a while, I get lucky. So I listed the complete front end on eBay with the master cylinder, and a dude bought it within 48 hours for full price, no best offer, and he only lives just under 2 hours away. So I had done free shipping on this thing, Well, where he lives, I actually need to go halfway there. So it's only going to be another hour drive, but I hit him up and I was like, hey, do you mind if I just drop this thing off? Because that would save me from packaging everything up, making sure it doesn't get damaged, being super careful. Obviously, it cost me a little bit of money for the supplies, which I have on hand, but still. So he was like, heck yeah. So I'm going to just throw it in the truck. I am going to wrap it up a little bit because I don't want it to get scratched in the truck. But we're going to throw it in the truck and we're going to Antioch, California, which I needed to go to San Jose anyways. So like I said, Antioch's about 2 hours from Santa Cruz. Should be a good drive. And that is a major piece of the puzzle as far as making money on this bike. This front end sold for $2,000, which I do have some money into it. We have money into powder coating, and then I have money into the rebuild. Not that much money though. The powder coating was $200 for the wheels and the front end parts, and I'm another about 180 into the front end parts. I'll do a breakdown at the end of the video, I suppose. But we're in the money. We're in the money on junk Sportsters, I'll tell you. And here we are in beautiful Antioch,
Turn
California.
right onto Ashburton Drive.
Well, guys, I think this is a good point to do a little recap of how the part out went. And when it comes to the frame and the engine, I made an executive decision, and I'll show you what I did with it. All right, out here in the bike horde. So this is the frame and engine, and this thing with a battery hooked up to it will start and run just the way it is right now. So I'm just kind of putting that in my back pocket. That right there is the bottom end from the chopper, the original engine, and you can see carnage. But I kept a hold of it just for the wiring harness. The transmission's still good, that kind of thing. Oh, little red. So yeah, with building a chopper that is the exact same model, I figured it just makes more sense to throw that thing in the shed until I'm done with the chopper build, and then I'll sell it or I'll use it for another project. But it doesn't cost anything for it to sit in the shed, and that's kind of how I came to build the chopper that I'm doing now. I parted out one of those bikes, did the same thing, sold the wheel suspension, and then just stuck it in the shed until I found a $500 clean title bike with no fees to switch everything over. So that's kind of the frame and engine. But let's break down the rest of the bike here. So, tin set, rear shocks, I got $350 from a local dude. Wheels. So the wheels and the front end, I blew those things apart. I actually vapor blasted the front end because I wasn't sure what I was going to do with it. Ended up going with the powder coating route. So I spent, now I did this in a package, so I'm kind of breaking it up here, but we're going to say it cost $100 to have the wheels blasted and powder coated. I sold them for a whopping $650 on eBay, and it did take about 2 weeks to sell them. I think I'm about 3 or 4 weeks into this project. So, and this is just something that, you know, you do on the side. $650, we're gonna say I netted $500. Front end, so $100 for powder coating and $150 for the plus the seals, which I had, which seals are cheap. With the front end, I don't have the tool to do the damper rod Harley forks, so I had to take them to my buddy's shop. He charged me $150. I had $100 in the powder coating, but I sold that front end on eBay for $2,000. $2,000. And coincidentally, a local dude bought it, so I was able to save some money on shipping because I did offer free shipping on that one. So sold for $2,000. After eBay fees, $1,700 minus the $250 for the powder coat and the seals. We netted $1,450 on the front suspension. I also included the brakes and the master cylinder. I like doing that because that's 2 less transactions and 2 less shipping things. So Doing package deals is awesome. Moving on, the Thunder Header. I thought for sure somebody local would buy that, but I post all this stuff on Instagram like as I'm doing it, so it's kind of ahead of YouTube and that. And one of the mechanics over at Fort Wayne Harley Davidson in Indiana follows me. Big shout out to you, bud. If you watch my YouTube videos, I don't know. He hit me up about the Thunder Header. So we made a box for that thing. I got $400 for the Thunder Header. The gauges did not work, unfortunately. Only the tachometer worked. So I got $100 on eBay for those. I just did it quick and dirty. Netted $75. The engine, we're gonna value the engine at $1,200. I think that there's one on eBay right now, just the engine, no wires, no frame, no doodads, for like $1,600. $1,200 is a super realistic value of a Sportster S engine in a frame with all the wiring that can start right now with a battery hooked up to it. So although I didn't sell it, I'm including it in there for the sake of the video, and I think that is a very conservative number, the $1,200. The rear brake setup I sold for $100, so I netted $75. Grand total on what I got for this stuff, $4,050. Minus the $400 for the bike means we netted $3,650. How about that? $3,650 on a junk Sportster. And because there was a bunch of people in the comments of the video when I got it that were saying, oh, you should fix it up and you should sell it. I did some rough numbers on if I fixed it up and sold it, how much money we would make. The DMV, like I said, $1,000. It was like, I can't remember, $800 and some in fees, plus VIN verification, plus current registration and all that. We're gonna say $1,000. It probably would have been a little bit more. I just did round conservative numbers. We got tires at $300, brakes for $100, brake flush, 3 brakes on that thing. I have to charge some labor, right? Even though it's myself. Carb clean, tune, rebuild, $200. Fork rebuild, $200, because like I said, I don't have the tools to do it. My buddy charged me $150 and I provided the parts. So, and oil's not cheap, all that good stuff. Gauges. To sell it to somebody, they're going to want a speedometer. We're going to say $300. Dual gauges are not cheap. Wheel bearings, steering head bearings, all that good stuff, $250. Plugs and a service, $150. So, if we did all this stuff, we would roughly have $2,600 into it, plus the $400 that I paid for the bike. So that is, dang old flies. So that is $3,000 that I would be into the bike at. And that's not, including miscellaneous stuff and cleanup and all that. Remember, the condition of the bike was pretty rough. So that bike that I have $3,000 into, realistically, in today's market with its condition, is probably, what did I put? I put $4,500. I think that's what I said at the beginning of the video. I think that realistically, it's between $3,500 and $4,500. So even if I did sell it for $45,000, we're looking at what did I say? I had it that with $1,500. So if I did all the work at the end of the rainbow to keep that bike on the road, I'm looking at making $1,500. Where if I do this, I make $3,600. I don't have to do multiple trips to the DMV. And yeah, make more money, less effort, maybe. I don't know if it's less effort or not. It seems like it's less effort. So that is why I went the part out route on this bike. And I don't do that on every bike. This 03 that I just got, we're not parting this thing out. I'm fixing this bike up. That'll be probably the next video that comes out. If you look back, I scooped this thing up for $500, barn find, been sitting for years, but better condition, and it's a 100th anniversary bike, so we don't part a bike like this out. But the 98 Sportster that's crusty rusty, you know, we're going to make some money on that thing. And we did. $3,650. And like I said, I didn't actually sell the engine. It's sitting in the shed. It's really nice just having it there, like I said, until the chopper's done. That way, if God forbid I run into an issue or I need a turn signal flasher or whatever, I'm not spending a ton of money going out and buying one. I also took a couple of the parts from that Sportster S and I put it on the chopper. The kickstand, the handlebar setup I took off. Can't remember, there's something else. Maybe the switches were nicer. But yeah, so I got to use parts for it already just for my stuff on top of making thousands of dollars. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I don't normally do videos like this. Let me know what you think in the comments about how I could have done it better, or how, you know, even though Harley makes hundreds of thousands of motorcycles, that I ruined a rare bike. I didn't, I promise you, they're not that rare. It's an Evo Sportster. They're worth a few $1,000. It's going to be okay. But, well, like I said, let me know what you guys think in the comments. I had a ton of fun, and I made some money. This is something that, like I said, I don't do it every single day because I don't find $400 Sportsters every day. But if you find one a month, or even one every couple months, at the end of the year, it makes a little difference, you know? That's how we can afford all the toys. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new. See you on the next one.